Oh man. All right. Let's get ready. Yeah. Right. There's a thing here. Somewhere right over here. Right? Hey there, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time it might be in your part of the world.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
It's so good to see you. My name is Jeff Fritz, and today is January 27th, 2026. And we're going to write a little bit of code today. How you doing out there, chat room? Hello, hello. We're broadcasting live on Twitch and YouTube, and starting today, we're also on LinkedIn.
Philly text hat confirmed.
Right. It's my Philly text hat. You better believe it. Now, where's my Charlie text? Where's the text from Charlie here? Let me head over to chat and welcome folks in. Right over there, you can see folks broadcasting, getting into chat from all of our services. Lots of folks from Twitch, but we're also on YouTube. I hope folks dial in and say hello from over there. Why did I get... YouTube signed me out over here. What the heck is this? What? Okay, whatever. Let me get re-signed into YouTube so I can see what's going on over there. Yes. Go do the two-factor authentication thing on YouTube. Yes, it's me. There we go. And come on, show me. You're not gonna... I clicked on the thing to go to my channel. Go to my channel. Thank you. There we are. Now I can see you, YouTube. Hello. Oh my goodness. And we're on LinkedIn. I was trying to look at how to click through to get to the LinkedIn stream. Come on. Hey, there I am. Over there on LinkedIn. Fantastic. All right. Hello to you, Heliatus Vocifer. How's it going? Let me catch up on chat here for just a second. Yeah. Right? There's a bunch of stuff going on here. Dear Lord. Let's do this. Let's see here. Yoan with the big resub, 80 months in a row. That was before stream started. PC Nerd, how you doing there? Greetings and salutations. I'm doing well. How you doing? Billy Cool in greetings from chat. I see that. I see what you did there. Patty Boy, how you doing in Glasgow? C Sharp Titan, take care there in Melbourne. All the best to you as you're healing up there at the hospital. Yeah, hope you're doing well. Phil, thanks so much for the resub. 55 months with us. Fantastic. Thank you. Robson Previato, 21 months. Yes, thank you so much. Eddie Dre is here. Good morning to you. How you doing in Sao Paulo? Robson Previato chiming in. I should bring up the map here at some point, right? Bring up the map so we can see all the stuff. Let me see. Continuing through. Yep, it's my Philly text. That's just Philly text. It's very angled Philly text. Catching up. It's sad to see so many people are being let. Who's being let go by Microsoft? Who's been let go by Microsoft? Let me catch up. Hey, Sir Lee Dev, how you doing there in Lancashire? What app do I use to stream to all the platforms at the same time? I'm using Restream. Restream gives me the ability to target all of those platforms at once. So really easy for me to hook up and just broadcast to all of them. Let me bring up, so I don't have LinkedIn dialed into the map just yet. We need to figure out a good way to connect to LinkedIn and monitor chat for a live stream. Is that a thing? Is that a thing? Is there chat on the live stream? I mean, there's comments, but I don't see. I don't see a way to. I don't know if there's a way to grab comments. I don't see any comments right now over on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn also looks like it's a few seconds behind. Right. Is there a way to programmatically get comments for a LinkedIn live stream? Right? There's got to be a way to do this. No direct way. There's no direct way to programmatically get comments. Womp womp. Tools like Commentify and Lego AI offer automation options for LinkedIn comments, which may include comments for live streams. Yeah? What do we got there? Commentify. How to automate LinkedIn comments without violating TOS. Yeah? What is LinkedIn comment automation? Refers to the use of specialized tools to automatically post comments. No, I want to listen to comments. Yeah, I don't want to automatically post comments. That's weird. Right? Like, no, that's the same thing. Would you programmatically, right? Listen for comments. Right? Do something like that? AutoKit, OpenAI, Slack, and Unipile to create comments. I don't want comments created. You stink. No, you're not going to. You're not going to do a thing? Let me get some music playing in the background here, and we'll talk more about this. I'm going to go with the Stream Beats Synthwave playlist. I always listen to these instrumental playlists of royalty-free music, copyright-free music that we can have just in the background, kind of groovy, filling in the gaps while we're writing some code together. Check it out at streambeats.com. Big thanks to Harris Heller and his team of creators for this music we're listening to today. Yeah. Oh, you know what? I know what I was missing. There we go. Now we can see what's going on. That's better. All right. No. I want to retrieve comments from LinkedIn live streams. Live streamers? Whatever. Close enough. Get those dialed into what's going on over here. Safest, most reliable way is to use authorized APIs. Great! What do we have? Happy Tuesday to you, Digital Drummer J. Authenticated browser-based tools. Chrome extensions. Yeah. Collect comments within your logged-in browser and extract structured data without violating terms. That is kind of scraping. Kinda. Blah 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 blah. And API-ify. Yeah, I've seen folks doing something like this. But I thought LinkedIn actually had a way to fetch content with their APIs from a session. There's Robson over on LinkedIn. Hello. Now that should have brought stuff back and forth. Hey, Copper Beardy, hello to you. How's it going there, friend? Right, if I go to my restream configuration, that should have, like, there's a bot that'll actually share those back and forth. Share those chat messages back and forth. Where'd it go? Come on now. Yep, embedded chat. There's the bot. Yeah, relay mode is turned on. So it should be relaying those messages with Restream. But I don't see Robson Previato's message that he posted on LinkedIn coming through here. Oh yeah, the LinkedIn delay is significant. Oh yes. That I can absolutely see that. Yeah, LinkedIn feels very not ready for prime time on the streaming game here. More Graybeardy? Yes, you and me both, friend. Yes. The new Forza Horizon 6 looks amazing. You pre-ordered? Cool. How you doing there, CTI Geek in Virginia?
I want to play a game.
Do you?
It's called Find the Bug Before It Finds You.
Oh. Why am I not getting any of my text from Charlie on the screen? Like, there it is. All right. All right, there we go. Yeah, I thought there was, what's the, there we go. Right there is a LinkedIn API. Right, LinkedIn official API. Right? Verified, sign in, share, live events. What do we have here? Register, ingest RTMP content, create a post, end the live event, check the status. Content access, what's that? Provides a platform to broadcast live event content. The video broadcasting feature is currently in beta. It's been in beta for a really long time. How cold is it in Philly? It is, we are looking at 13 Fahrenheit right now. And somebody do the conversion from Fahrenheit to Celsius. Okay, so we're broadcasting. So how do I get comments? People? What's people? Profile API? No, I don't want to go digging through people. API guide. Concepts? Sure. Okay. Well, this is lame. Like, I want to get comments. Right? Minus 10 Celsius. Oh, baby. That's cold. What can we do in the post API? Has been sunset. Okay, to the latest version APIs. Okay, well, what's that? Okay. I don't... Fine. So, videos. Yeah, this is a video post, right? So we should be able to get comments on that. Like, optional content. Yeah, I'm going to get replies or comments. No. Post, comment, and like posts on behalf of an organization. I don't want to. No. So those are permissions. User-generated commentary for the post. Commentary, sample post text, visibility. Yeah, I want to get the replies. What was that? User-generated commentary of this post. Man, why do they have to use... Mentions and hashtags using post commentary. Well, maybe we got something here. It's about 30 seconds difference. Wow. All right. That's a thing. Hashtag a keyword. Comment section of a post. I want to get social metadata API. Comments API. Get a comment, batch, get a collection of comments, get comments on shares, comments on comments, create a comment, edit a comment, delete a comment. Alright, so we might be able to go through this and get stuff. Alright. I'm gonna park that for now, and we'll eventually get that dialed into Charlie as we grow and do more with LinkedIn content, and we start to use more with LinkedIn and LinkedIn video. So I hope you're watching out there and tuning in and having a good time with some of the code we're gonna write. Of course, you can also find me on YouTube and Twitch. So. Let me catch up a little bit on chat over here. So, how's the PC build progressing? I've done a bunch of design. Absolutely want to talk about that, so let me bring that up here. Mariana Trench, I wonder who that is. And what happened when we came back over here? Digital Drummer J in Phoenix, and it didn't place the pin for Phoenix. Yeah, there it is. So there's still something not quite there. Is LinkedIn keep the live saved? I don't know. It probably does. A friend was telling you that Windows 12 is going to be subscription based. I have no idea. I don't work on the Windows team. The content, the commentary that folks may be writing about Windows. Now, where did Melbourne go? I put Melbourne on the map. Yeah. There. Yeah. Where's your bin? Yeah. Right? Down there. We got you. Anybody who's telling you something about Windows 12 is planning this, is planning that, it is so early. Nothing is announced about a next version of Windows. There's folks that are working on tuning, improving, and doing more stuff with Windows 11. Like, Windows 12 isn't a thing yet. And if I even knew if there was a thing going on with Windows 12, I couldn't talk about it, but I don't know anything about a Windows 12 yet. I will be sure to share that with you. That there's nothing that's come back to me about Windows 12 yet. So there's definitely things that folks are working on for Windows 11 to improve some of the continued complaints that folks have about performance and application behavior. So it's growing, it's improving. We're getting there. See, look at that. It's doing the navigation, but not placing and showing all the indicators there. Like there, that one appeared, and up here for Boston, for Two Wolf. So I think we might want to dive in and do a little bit of inspection, some work on what's going on over here. There we go. And it didn't show the thing. It's not quite. Vaughan, Canada. Hello, how you doing there? Anana, 1221. Where's the rest of the hat message? What the heck happened here? So, Battlestar Galactica. Surely they're working on a global AI turnoff switch. I think we're getting into a place where there's AI-like things that we all want for our different parts of what we work with. Different parts of different things that you do every day that we can improve and work with. So, I think there's things in there that we do want AI for, but I also think there's some things that they're trying to
Perhaps I can be of assistance at Jenny's Q7. Unlike some of your previous attempts, my suggestions tend to compile.
Haha, see that? I think there's places that, and it's not just the Windows team that are doing this. Everybody is doing this. All the tech companies are putting AI things in places that we're probably not interested. Ravnos, hello, Miami, Florida, representing here. Like putting AI into Notepad, that's weird. That's weird. Putting AI into Paint, that's weird. That's weird. The idea with the Claude bot that folks are tinkering with and trying, having a bot that is able to interact with various parts of the operating system, that makes sense. Yeah, I want my text editor, like Notepad, to be simple. I don't want to log into Notepad. I don't want to log into Paint. These things could be simple. And have an overarching bot. Gosh, I don't know, having a bot in Windows. You could even name it after a famous robot computer character from a popular video game that you own the rights to. I don't know, maybe something like Halo. You could get a character from there that folks really like and show and use that character and have some fun with this and showing that, hey, this character has the ability to help out in so many different ways, and they can help you with Notepad. Opening Notepad doesn't do anything AI, neither does opening Paint, but having that character that's able to reach in and integrate with whatever application and help you with that, gosh, that would be so great. Oh, I miss Cortana. And then I asked the question, why do I need to log into every application? I'm already logged into my operating system with an account that connects out to either iCloud, right? On a Mac, I connect out to iCloud, and my Mac login is connected to my iCloud account. On Windows, connected to my Microsoft account. So, or to some other Active Directory Intra account. So I've got authentication several different ways. Why do I need to log into every application at that point? That's part of what makes the Windows Enterprise experience so cool, right? I log into Windows and it carries that authentication into all of my applications. Fantastic. Why do you have to log into your dishwasher? Right. I don't want to log into a dishwasher. That's stupid. So, yeah, that's a thing that I don't want to do. So, keep an eye on that. Logging into your dishwasher. You missed the office assistants? Yeah. Nope, didn't hang up the bot. It looks like we're not it's not navigating to the next city and showing the display or properly adding the pin reliably each time. We might need to reach in there and tweak it a little bit there. Traverse City, hello. How you doing, Alou? And there was also some folks were suggesting, you know what, you can show the names of the folks on the pop-up there when we zoom in on one of those cities. So the AI toaster can stop you from burning the toaster. Can stop you from burning the toast. Yeah.
Your dependency
absolutely.
is dependency itself.
Is it?
And that is the cruelest trap of all.
Is it? That's so meta. I don't know, Charlie. Yeah, we're good. You're working on running .NET 10 out of process for a Unity-based card game. Nice. Hey, how you doing there? GTR Shack, how you doing? Welcome in.
Remember, the promise of cake motivates test subjects.
It does.
Unlike your code, which motivates only despair and
exception handlers. That feels like a t-shirt. I motivate exception handlers. There we go. Copper Beardy will drop a pin in Wales. It's Tuesday. I gotta mention.
How typical.
What?
We're going to be deleted.
No, you're not.
Or worse,
no,
we'll be running in production.
Well, I've got a couple things to show you that are running in production. Copper Beardy, I gotta mention. I'm such a fan of Wrexham Football Club, because Rob Mack is from Philadelphia. He changed his name from Rob McElhenney to just Rob Mack, but he's from Philadelphia, and we were watching and following what was happening with Wrexham Football Club years ago when he first bought the team, and the documentary series that they've had is just accelerated how much interest we have in the club. To see them win this weekend and climb into they're in the final playoff spot on the EFL championship table. If the season ended today, they would be playing for a chance to advance to the Premier League. And that is insane. That is an insane growth that this pro club has gone through. Just amazing. Yes, to get into the Premier League. Are you kidding? So they've been promoted 3 seasons in a row from non-league football, National League, League 2, League 1, now Championship, right? So they're in their 4th league in 4 years. And they're right now, they've just entered the discussion to potentially be promoted to Premier League. I don't think it's going to happen. And even if they did get promoted to Premier League, they don't have the facility for it. They don't. And unfortunately, the government in Wales and in Wrexham City, because it's a city now, it's no longer a town. They don't have the space, the facility, the ability to build and deliver a stadium to support that team playing in Premier League. They can barely fit 12,000 people in that stadium. They're not going to fit 30,000 like you would for Premier League. All right, there were a couple other questions there. Let me make sure I go back to them. So, I do hope they make it. A tremendous story. I forget. Did they play Cardiff or Swansea earlier this season? And they lost to their southern rivalry there. They either lost or they had a draw. I forget. So, John, you already have a pin on the map. 1 pin per user. So, I should have a channel point redemption that lets you move your pin. That might be valuable. So, there's our friends in Europe. Bunch of folks over in the States. Kick off the tour. I'll let this run and then I'll talk a little bit about the cyber deck. So I've been working through the idea of building a cyber deck. This is the idea. Why does it say Central North America for the Northwest? So Mariana Trench, there you go. So the idea is I'm building a highly customized. Yeah, the tour isn't quite responding properly. We're going to need to revisit this. It's jumping when there's new entries in the queue. A cyber deck is a highly customized computer that's inspired by the cyberpunk stories, movies, that whole genre. And the idea is it's something fun that you can do and have a lot of capabilities that you can add with all the cool IoT things that are available today. The pin's a little off. It should be just above Cardiff. Well, I do make the pins intentionally inaccurate so that nobody gets doxxed or anything like that. Well, so Pittsburgh came in during the tour, right? So I need to do some rework of exactly when I click start tour, don't jump to new locations, but when the tour finishes, then go to the new locations that are added. And there's some work there to make sure that the new locations appear properly, that when the tour runs, it zooms in, clusters a little bit better, and has a better label for these things. And I think I have a better way to do this. I think I have a much better way to do this. I think we can do a little bit of AI to help with doing some geographic naming for the pins that are visible, right? Like this part of the States, right? I might call Mid-Atlantic. I might call Northeast United States. We've got a friend here in Vaughan, Canada. So, there's a regional name here. I might call it Northeast United States, Toronto area, right? I don't know. But we can definitely discern a little bit more about what to name this area of the map, right? Similarly, we've got a couple friends here in the Southwest United States. We could discern a name for this based on those locations. So we might be, and same thing, we've got a couple friends here in Washington area, right? Redmond and Seattle, right? Like we could zoom in on this area and say Pacific Northwest. That's what they call that region of the country, and so forth, right? When we zoom in over here, we could just say United Kingdom, right? Hey, United Kingdom and Western Europe, right? And we could zoom in up here and say Scandinavia, because it's not just our friend here in Finland, right? And so forth. Here's the deal, and this is one of oh my gosh, this is one of those places where the things that I'm working on at work intersect with something that we're doing on stream. And it feels like I should get double points for this. I don't know if you saw, but I'll finish talking about this and I'll come back to the cyber deck. There's an SDK that was released this week for the Copilot CLI. That's a lot of acronyms. Let's make sure we get that. We understand that, right? Copilot has GitHub Copilot has a command line interface that you can use to interact with it. So right? Like, let me open another panel here, and I know I'm not showing my screen right now. I'll come back to it in just a second. Yeah. Yeah, let's do this. So you can use the CLI, right? I can execute Copilot here. I'm actually going to put it into YOLO mode. All right. This is kind of a hack that you can use. All right. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your pets, tell your coworkers, -- YOLO. All right. When you run this at the command line, it basically says you can use all of the MCP that I have configured, right? All of the tools that are configured with this. I'm approving every request for interacting with things on disk. You're allowed to do that, right? YOLO, you only live once, is what that acronym stands for. So when you put it into YOLO mode, you're saying you can do anything, okay? Now, I have the latest Copilot pre-release version installed. So this is 0.395. It's very early. There's so much still growing and coming here. This can be installed from NPM, from Winget, from Brew. Really easy to get your hands on this, okay? They've added delegate mode here. So you can describe something, tell it to work on it, and delegate it, and it will go off and work on it on GitHub and bring back and show you when it's done. Some of my colleagues will open up many tabs and have all of them running with Copilots and doing their thing. I don't think that's entirely realistic for most folks, because using this takes up requests, right? When you interact with the CLI, it takes up requests. Because I'm an employee, I have unlimited requests. So some of my colleagues that are just hammering this and discovering and working with and learning new ways to do things, like, they're trying to invent and figure out the edges of things, and some of the things they're doing admittedly is not realistic without spending a ton of money. However, I'm using Claude Opus here. There's a bunch of different models that are available. The Anthropic models are all available. OpenAI models, GPT models, all available. Google Gemini, available. There are more models that are becoming available that'll get loaded in here. They're adding more ways that you can bring your own models. We're at the beginning, and they're also going to tune and remove some of these. What's interesting for me is the zero models. Look at these ones. You can use these ones free. So if you have a GitHub account, you can install the CLI, and you can always use GPT-5 Mini and GPT-4.1. So, thinking back, and I know there's some questions in chat, some comments. I'm going to come back to them in just a minute. If I come back over here and we get a list of some of these, right? If we say Michigan, Boston, Baltimore, Virginia, Chicago area, right? Help me name the geographical region that's displayed on a map that includes locations such as Boston, Toronto, Chicago, Baltimore, and Virginia. I'm going to run this through Claude Opus. It's going to take a little bit longer because it's a more sophisticated model, but I can run this also through GPT, like the GPT-5 Mini. No questions asked. Common names: Northeastern North America, Great Lakes, and Northeast Corridor. I like that one. But this is, right, we saw very quickly here, it has what I need, right? 1 second here. So if I can do, right, so let's change the model, and I'm going to go to one of the 0 models. I'll go to the GPT-5 mini. Yeah, give me low fidelity, just hammer it, do it again. So now I'm hitting GPT 5.0, and you see it's a 0 cost on this, right? And Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, including Great Lakes. For cross-border emphasis, Northeastern, North America, Great Lakes, and Atlantic Quarter. Fantastic. For a label to put on the tour, that works. So, CLI with the power of the cloud, and you can use it for free. Let me catch up on some of the comments there in chat. Yeah, YOLO mode. PC Nerd says, maybe it's because I'm not a CLI person, but I don't see how the experience could be better on the CLI compared to in VS Code. Hang on. So in VS Code, you're going to see the differences that it and the changes that it makes in any code editor, and you're going to be able to more closely review those changes. I think that's a fantastic approach in VS Code. I think there's tasks that you can do at the CLI like this when you want to vibe code things and you want it to generate a bunch of differences and then come back before you do the commit and review it, or have this generate the pull request and then do the review and see what it is. This type of approach is about accelerating the development process, going further and doing multi-threaded things, multi-threaded interaction, and being able to programmatically trigger and run and do more on those. So we'll see more about that. Does it burn through tokens like Claude, asks Lazy Dev. Well, here's the deal. Check this out. So I'm just going to stop, right? That used 3 premium requests, right? So I sent in, what, 2 messages here? And it gave me 3 premium requests that it cost me. Breakdown by model. There's the tokens. But here's the thing. And what that's context for the current folder. With Copilot, you're not charged per token. You're charged per premium request. So when I used the mini model, I didn't use any premium requests. Right? So Claude and ChatGPT and Gemini, they use tokens to count and allocate for you. You also can only use their product. With Copilot, you can use everybody's model. You're charged per request. That changes the game, right? Like, let me close some of these. Let me close all of those. There we go. When I can start thinking things in terms of I'm sending in one request, now we're talking. Now that's something more compelling. So I was working on, over here, overnight, updates for Neon Link. Neon Link is a website that I built that enables speakers, teachers to have resources available online, to have host question and answer in a live venue with a phone-based website. And it comes into the speaker and they're able to review and answer those questions. There's a bunch more features there. But what I started here in this chat, and it ran for a couple hours overnight, is I described that I wanted to add closed captioning. And I wanted to use the Whisper AI model, right? Whisper AI model. It went through and set up a plan for it, 7 phases to work through. And I told it, start, go ahead, go do it, go build it. I'm going to review when you're done. And it finished. Okay. So I can see everything there. I'm going to end this. So I have my resume. That whole thing, adding that feature, was 6 requests. It spent only 10 minutes on the API. Okay. This is accessible to you because you get 50 premium requests a month on just the initial GitHub plan. GitHub Copilot plan, right? This isn't costing you a lot, and it's delivering code and features while you're asleep. Phenomenal. So I'll tell it to resume this session so I can go back into it later when I'm ready to work on it again. So what I'm thinking we can do here, and I'm seeing some folks playing with and getting some pins on the map here in Spain, right? Portugal, yes. Seville, there we go. And Granada, So you can't keep all that straight, too many threads of activity. So Napalm, the mind shift that we as developers need to get into.
Y.
No,
Let's debug.
LNZ.
Oh, but maybe we should run tests first?
We'll
No.
do that too.
Just deploying to production? How very human.
Oh, it's all production around here. Valencia, there we go. Why didn't it? A lot of friends from Spain tuning in. Hello. My goodness. We're having a day in Spain. Thank you so much for joining us. So as developers, we need to shift our mindset to we're managing a project team. So, how you doing there, ice cream stick model? Hello. Undefined process getting added there. Look at this. Oh, the Spaniards are taking over. Buenos dias, friends. Great to see you. You tried doing multiple chats with the agent through the GitHub webpage. It turned into a PR merge nightmare. That's my fear also. And the challenge there is managing, allocating, and assigning tasks that are on separate features around the application. Feels more streamlined so you can watch it make changes and interact. Makes sense. You've been having luck with Raptor Mini, which is a 0x model. Cool. How does it compare to the GPT-5 Mini? Codebase Alpha, how you doing in Birmingham? Oh, another Portuguese friend. Hello. The CLI is editor agnostic. So if you want to work with VI, Emacs, you want to work with Notepad, go for it. Go for it. Sharer uses a combination of the CLI, in VS Code, and some open code. That, I think, is the sweet spot. Do a little bit of everything. Freda the cat, welcome. Yeah, I'm catching up here. Nalian writes a lot of infrastructure as code. GPT-5 and Raptor have been doing a good job. There you go. Okay. With not creating new things like an actual application, everything's already defined. Don't see a big difference. So I think you're right with GPT-5. The GPT models get right to the point. Right? They get in, they get right to the point, and they show and do things. I think using the Claude models is great for exploring and planning, and then hand off to a dedicated agent that might be using a more focused model. Claude is very chatty. very exploratory, and will suggest things on the periphery, which, when you're planning, is really, really cool. Another Portuguese pin. Thank you so much. The Portuguese and Spanish are taking over here. Look at this. Surly Dev's been hammering Copilot Chat in VS Code for about 3 projects. Ran out of premium requests the other day. Oh, I'm sorry. Grover Saurus, how you doing there? Austin, Texas. Hello. You don't like the AI for SQL? So, our friend Carl Franklin and I are doing something about that. We're trying to make it easier to generate SQL statements and then pass them off to your application so that the AI isn't interacting directly with your database, because that's weird. Like, that feels like a security problem waiting to happen. You're tempted to try Copilot CLI and try out the free models? Go for it. Go for it. Dub television, it's scary stuff? I don't think so. What are you scared of? Let's talk about that. PC Nerd has been having great luck with the IAC stuff with the Claude models. Yeah. Sharer pays the $10 a month and feels it's worth it for just $10. There you go. Right, the amount of time that you save for that $10, if it builds a feature for you overnight while you're at lunch, think about this. You're working on, you discuss, you figure out, and you say, all right, here's what I'm going to design, here's what I'm going to build, and you hand that off, right? Take that plan document, that markdown document, and you hand that off to the CLI, and you put it in a fresh feature branch, and you let it run while you go to lunch. Come back from lunch, and it's probably done, close to done. You just got work accomplished while you were eating lunch. That's valuable, right? Like, you were paid to eat lunch and you got stuff done. Cool. So, how many Spaniards? We've got a few. Let me see here. Surly Dev uploaded a SQL script into SSMS, from SSMS into Copilot Chat, hoping when I ask it to review a T-SQL statement, it's going to give me tips and insights. If it has access to the schema, it'll be able to give you insights. Yes. Are you becoming a micromanaging product manager? Yes, you are. How you doing, undefined process? Phil Vesey says YOLO mode should also include a force push to production. No, don't do that. Commit to GitHub, commit to source control, and force continuous integration to run. Yes. Right? But remember, this is a Copilot. This is something that's going to write code that's going to help you and then kick off and run and go do different things, right? You review and improve it. How you doing, Lurky Dev? It's nightmare fuel to you? I think we can dig into this, bring the Copilot SDK, and improve the tour, and have it work on parts of that at the same time. And I think we can do that in a live demo here in just a minute. So, Doncaster, hello. Doncaster. Make sure I say that right. Brent Ozar is laughing. Yeah, I bet he is. The attitude of do more with less resources and that's dangerous. Well, where do you want to pay? Yeah. The Cliptographer in Portugal. Good to see you. Who's that? Czech Republic. Conavar Dev. Hello. Let me catch up here a little bit. Can we have someday some GitHub Copilot demo how to configure general rules and put it under a C# solution where all customizations are applied to all projects within solution? Ice cream stick model. Let's do a little bit of that with CodeMedic. That's open source project that we can hand off and folks can dig into and learn from. Because I think talking about Copilot instructions, agents, skills, we can do a lot with all of those, configure and show a complete solution that does more. You ran out of premium on Copilot. Thankfully, you have Cursor. Well, I mean, we are near the end of the month. Everybody's Copilot requests reset here in, what, Saturday? So, do I know if it's possible to update .NET SDK version on Mac OS without the need to download a new version? How do you update the SDK without downloading a new version? Like, if you're going from 9 to 10, you have to download 10. You can't update software without downloading it. Right? Maybe I'm misunderstanding. Yeah, that's right, Sharer. Request refresh comes this weekend. And I feel like there's going to be this weird curve of, right? Like, right, there's going to be this weird curve. Sure. Right. Right, if this is requests, wow, that's good. And then this is the month over here. Look at that. Look at that. I'm fantastic at writing with the mouse. I have a feeling that we're going to see this weird curve like this. And right at the beginning of the month, everybody gets their requests back. And yes, go use them all. Go use it, use it, use it. Oh, wait a sec. I've only got a few premium requests left. Let's back off a little bit. And then we're going to get into the last week of the month. Oh my gosh, I've still got 30 requests left. Go use them. And I think we're going to see this interesting inverse bell curve that happens as folks are using their requests. So... you got an SSRS report down from between 6 and 7 and 12 minutes to less than 20 seconds. That's phenomenal, Surly Dev. Let's see here. You love assigning tasks to Copilot as I'm about to run out the door. Do things while I'm done, while I'm walking the dog, mowing the lawn, shoveling the driveway. Yes. But turn on the YOLO mode. 13,000 sprocs in detail? No, it's not going to do that. You need to manage your context window on that. Dub Television says their data analyst, who was a dev, rough layoff a couple months ago, made me take a different path. Okay. Want to get back into development, but fear that the interviews are becoming harder to get because of the increase of AI tooling. I hear you. I totally hear you. I think AI tooling, though, is going to be the name of the game for at least the next year, as folks are figuring this out, and I think we're going to have this growth of folks using more and more AI tools, and then there will be a tipping point where people are, well, wait a sec, I'm spending too much on tokens, and they back off a little bit. So I think you are going to see that, Dub Television. The challenge is to have the right balance between thinking mode and building mode. Yes. So that's where planning mode comes in, GTR Shack. And we'll do a little bit of that to try and fix this in a second here. Ask AI to create a graph for me. Yeah, I should. The graph will also show you how much work gets done in a month. Right. Mithins here in the Netherlands. That's whose pin got dropped in there. You blew through 90% of your requests in the last 4 days building a new SaaS. Was that valuable for you? I would guess the answer is yes. So, let me clear out the questions. Dear Lord, I've got 60-some questions in the queue left over from last time. Close them out. I need a clear all button. There we go. All right. There was a question earlier about the cyber deck. Let me show you that for a second, and then we'll dive back into some of this. Yeah, and then we'll come back across to these ones. I've been designing. So I mentioned I'm building a cyber deck. A cyber deck is a piece of hardware that's inspired by the cyberpunk genre. And because of the very accessible, very cool IoT components that are available, along combined with 3D printing and just commodity hardware parts that are available, building things that are unique and different from what you find on the shelf. It's pretty cool. So I designed the lid for the front of the cyber deck that I'm building, and I'm calling mine the Neon Link Mark 1, because I'm not just building a little personal computer. I'm going to build a cockpit for teaching and speaking and delivering live streams. So I'm putting a couple LEDs on the outside to light up an e-ink display, and I have this e-ink display already. I showed it on a previous stream, but I wanted to 3D print the case lid so that it's got the cool text at the bottom of what it is, and it's got this angled, very cool cyberpunk inspired feel and vibe to it. So there's a bunch of information here. I'm going to, as I get through more of this, I'm going to publish this repository. It's currently marked private. So there's more coming with this. But I started generating a bunch of documentation to go with this for all the various parts that I'm building. And there's this idea of wings that come out the sides, so that it's not just a laptop lid that folds up, but there's a couple of wings that fold out the sides. And I recorded my hardware inventory here, so that when I'm done and I publish this, you'll be able to grab this and see exactly what I built and take it as inspiration to build something like this yourself. But I have a Raspberry Pi 3B here. I'm going to end up with a Pi 5 that I installed. Didn't want to order it yet because I've already got a lot of this stuff. I've got my touchscreen that was delivered, my e-ink display that was delivered. My OLED displays are coming. I have an LCD display. No, I don't have that. That's on order. That's coming later this week, actually. I've got 50 tactile buttons that arrived, but I'm only installing 8. I have a USB touchpad that was delivered. I have a mini keyboard. This is kind of a suggestion for one, but it's decent size. So I've got a bunch of screw down terminals, and I've got some LED strips. I need to update that. So some of the concept images look like that. And the idea is these two sides here fold over the middle and the lid folds down. And the ports for all the accessories are available here. And this LED panel, Copilot rendered incorrectly. This is going to be on the front side. OLED screens showing different status of things that are going on. I've got a 3-row LCD panel that goes here. 4 tactile buttons that appear on both of these sides, and my touchpad right there. And a standard keyboard in the middle. This is so much fun to talk about and plan. It's coming. I'm going to be building this a little bit on stream, a lot on YouTube videos, all right? But that's coming. I've been building and designing this with Copilot. So I've got all kinds of docs that I've been building, images, right? Here's the OLED screens that I'm using. $18 for a little OLED screen, 2.42 inch OLED screen that are going to be on one on each side, so that I can put different visualizations, I can put different status reports on these. There's where's the LCD? Oh, I didn't include the LCD in this. And the back of the circuit board of that, right? So by loading this image into Copilot, it knows exactly where the screw down holes are on this. So when I tell it to prototype a CAD image for mounting this, it knows exactly where the holes are, so we can place that appropriately. Oh, it is amazing. The tactile buttons, they're 12 by 12 millimeter. Not huge. But this is going to be something a lot of fun to build. You can just imagine the hush in the conference room when Fritz walks in with the briefcase for mission control. Oh, yes. It's not quite it's not going to be a briefcase, but it will be like the size of a dictionary. It's going to be thick because it's got those two wings and then the lid that folds down. It's going to be a thick boy, to be sure, but we're getting there. So that's what I've been designing and working through. I'm really excited about this. Our friend Ellieface builds a bunch of stuff with Raspberry Pis also. So I was thinking about inviting her to be part of the discussion in some of the videos presenting it. Like the old Yellow Pages. Oh, you did age yourself, Scherer. Oh, you did. Next week, I'm going to be at... I don't like... Get the picture of me off the screen. We don't need to see all of me on the screen. Can we do something about that? There we go. I have 2 sessions that I'm teaching at Svetug in Stockholm next week, okay? Building confident application systems with .NET Aspire. This is literally in an hour. I am migrating a system from ASP.NET Core to full running with Aspire, having a little bit of AI features in it. It is a fantastic live-coded set of demos. You've seen me do some of these demos on this channel. It is terrific, all right? Second one, hooking up all the things, make your distributed developer's life better. This is me talking about how to build and add in various components and add integrations with Aspire. How to design integrations, how to build integrations, what integrations are available. We're going to go through and talk about all of that in this second session, which is really more of an advanced Aspire session. Yeah, that's me. So that's next week. I'll be doing those 2. I'm going to try to live stream from Stockholm next week. I'm going to try. I have my wireless microphones, and I've got my tiny camera that I can use. And of course, the Swedish folks, man, you've got some great network speed in Sweden. But yeah, I have little wireless microphones that I'll be using while I'm on the road for a bunch of different things. That's going to be... Really? That's still charging? Like, you've been sitting in this case for how long? Whatever. So, and this is from Neewer is the name of this company that makes this. So, hey Reg, how you doing there? Across the street from Microsoft, really? So, I'll be using those next week, along with a little OBSBot camera that I have on a tiny tripod that I'll be bringing with me to Sweden. So, what's a dictionary? Oh, jeez. All right. Let's try using a little bit of Copilot. Do a little bit of planning here. Ice Cream Stick Model was asking for a little bit of help about configuring Copilot to do a bunch of things. Let's talk about do something with some of that and see if we can clean up some of the Tor capabilities here. Dial in the Copilot SDK so that when the Tor runs, it gives us a more accurate location. And I think we actually started generating a document for some of that stuff. Ooh. There we go. I don't think that was the same Pueblo that you thought it was, PC Nerd. Right? That was supposed to be Pueblo, Colorado, wasn't it? Right, let's see if we can edit that real quick. Pueblo, Colorado. Spell it right. There we go. Yep. And we'll just move you to Pueblo, Colorado. Yeah, I got the edit feature working properly again. You might be right. That it's spelled slightly differently for the Mexican city. Let me take a look. So here we are in the Charlie folder, and it says there's 5 changes. What are those changes? Right, we started trying to generate some CAD models. I'm gonna remove those. Right, Charlie bot star. All right. Let's go into docs. Map. Yeah, docs. Now, go up a folder. All right, so here's VS Code, right? And we did a bit of planning here last time. So data model updates, enhanced location model to store multiple chatters with their badges, platforms, and timestamps. Badge system, platform badges, role badges, achievement badges. That's not a bad idea. Announcement, pop-up enhancement, show chatter names with badges. Yeah. Location modal, pop-up, detailed chatter list showing display name, multiple badge icons per user, timestamp, platform breakdown stats, sorting and pagination for large lists. Okay. Badge combination strategies, primary plus account, icon stack. That's not bad. Layered badges. I don't like that. Multi-platform handling, yes. UI mockups. So, yeah, the tour path, we've got some ideas there. Let me go back into this AI-powered label generation. Close all the other ones there. So here's the doc that it started generating. Okay. Now, when you're doing planning with the AI, it's really just generating a markdown document somewhere that it's tracking. I don't want to do that. I have an insanely great idea to trim down the data requirements for the geography interactions that are suggested here. Why don't we introduce the GitHub pilot at... Copilot, pilot, and allow Copilot to use one of the smaller, faster models to provide a name for a region of the map that's being displayed. Period. We could send the collection of pins that are currently being displayed to Copilot, get a location, and display that on screen. Get a location, description, and display that on screen. Yeah. Let's just say that are displayed. So, now, while this is grinding away to Ice Cream Stick Model's question, so I have this Copilot instructions document that I started with. Don't write this. Generate this. Talk to Copilot. Tell it what you want to work on, what you want to do, and let it suggest the content for this thing, right? We're going to come back to you in a second. And then go in and tune it, by hand to add and change and be descriptive of the things that you want in your project. So Copilot instructions is just the first layer. Let's see, what did we change here? So it ripped out the data requirements. Use GitHub Copilot SDK with fast models to generate regional labels dynamically, eliminating need for complex geographic data management. Basic geocoding API requests, pin metadata, GitHub Copilot SDK integration, already required for feature 2. Optional data for fallback, whatever. Eliminated requirements, handled by AI. Download, manage country, boundary, GeoJSON. Yes, don't do that. State, province, boundary data, cultural region mappings, regional grouping rules, complex configuration files, benefits. Yes. Now, this is very much running as a single user here, this app. If I were to deploy and share these facilities, I would want to hook up to a deployed API, or to buy an API key to OpenAI or Anthropic, so that my app is using that model directly instead of kind of routing through Copilot like a consumer interaction, right? So, let's see. There's another edit area down here. GPT 4.0 mini. It's going to be the 5.0 mini because 4.0 mini isn't in the mix. And then down here is another block. Performance considerations. Cache AI generated labels aggressively. Cache boundary detection results. Not needed with the AI approach. Pre-calculate cultural region membership. AI handles that. Lazy load boundary GeoJSON. No, not needed. Batch AI label requests when generating tour. Okay, sure. Use fast model for sub-second response times. There it is, referring to the fast model again. Let's bring up and look at the list of models here that we have available. Yeah. GPT-5 mini is the small and fast model I think we want to look at. The small and fast model we want to recommend at this time is GPT-5 space mini. You stink. Right? Something like this. So I'm going to set this up so that it just grinds away on it, and we'll go work on another project. Is there some documentation, what kind of stuff you can save to Copilot instructions? Yes. I'll grab that in a second here. No, I said GPT-5 mini. No, I said GPT-5 mini, not... All right, so what you can put in Copilot instructions here. What can I write into Copilot instructions? Right? For GitHub Copilot. There's too many products named Copilot. Here we go. Configure custom instructions for Copilot. So you can have personal instructions that live in your user folder, custom instructions per repository so that you share those when you commit. And then you can have organization level ones. I always use the repository based ones. Repository, yeah. So here's an example prompt. You can specify patterns of files that it should apply to, so you can create different instructions for different types of files. And there's different types of custom instructions. No. So some examples. A helper for GitHub Actions, because nobody gets these right. So apply to a specific folder and the workflows, right? That's the folder, the location where your GitHub Actions are stored. And specific instructions about what to do with that. Now, the other side of this isn't just custom instructions, but there's also custom agents. So an agent is a personality that you configure and say, tell it, you're really good at this, and you're going to focus and do just this. And here's how you work on that. Yeah, I'll come back to Awesome Copilot in a second. So you can define lots of agents and then have each one of them run differently, just like different personas that might be working on a software development team. But there also there's now skills. So each agent can also they're defined by skills, right? Agent skills are folders of instructions, scripts, and resources. So it's an open standard. The Anthropic Claude Code tools use this also. So you can create and add skills in a .github skills folder, and then you create a folder and place markdown and other samples and things for it to work with in there. So you might have a skill file, right? And this overlaps a lot with agent. A lot. You have a name for it and you have a description. So when Copilot sees that you're doing something that this description applies to, hey, I need to debug a failing GitHub action. Okay, here's how to do it. Here's instructions for how to do it. When you use a skill compared to an agent, just this is loaded with your custom instructions for Copilot to use. So you're limiting the context window of the things that you're bringing in, right? The context window is the set of instructions and code and things that you're referencing that Copilot is to consider when it's going to give a response, right? And I say Copilot, but I mean LLM in general. Same thing for Claude and Gemini. So when you can narrow down and be more specific with reference material, reference instructions for it by using things like agents and skills, you're going to end up getting that very narrow set of instructions for just the thing that it's working on. So that while it's working on a GitHub action here, it doesn't need to know how to format C# code. Difference. Ads are starting on Twitch right now. We're still broadcasting live on YouTube and Discord. If you want to chime in on one of those platforms, you can check in and see what's going on. Peeking in on, let me see, that's Restream. I'm going to peek in on Discord real quick. Not Discord, LinkedIn real quick and see what's going on over there. Yeah, it's not refreshing and showing me the additional comments on LinkedIn. Hey, Bruno's here. Hello. So, lots that you have flexibility to do here. Let's go back over to VS Code. Corrected to GPT-5 Mini. Thank you. Turkey. Yeah, turkey. Hey, Lundo Spark. Dropping a pin on Staffordshire. Come on. There we go. Right. There we go. Clustering the pins there on Birmingham. Is it consuming Copilot requests if you have very long custom instructions saved? No. Right? And this is a good thing to remember here. Copilot works on counting requests, not tokens. So when you include more requests, more content in the context, it's still the same request. Be aware, though, that you might be confusing the AI by giving it too much context, right? Because that's the other side of this. You don't give it enough instructions, well, it's not going to do the right thing. You give it too much instructions, well, now it's not going to do it right and get confused and try and do some other things. So that's a thing. Lundo Spark's been trying the PRD technique for Copilot for some stream tooling you want. Pretty cool. It is very cool. Planning mode is absolutely a thing. Planning mode you can activate, right? There's a planning mode that turns on here in VS Code. It's also in Visual Studio, so that you're effectively telling the AI, I want to discuss with you plans for this feature that I want to build. What it's doing is generating a markup document like this. It's saved elsewhere on disk. You can tell it to bring it over here and place it. Like, really? And then, now that you have this checklist, now you can tell Copilot, go do it. Go implement that. Right? And what I like about this is for us as developers and now AI project managers, we can see exactly what the AI is intending to do. Digital Drummer J, that is a fantastic question. For the CLI, is there a resume switch so you can continue a previous session? Does VS Code auto-resume previous sessions, or is there a way to pick one? I got you, friend. I got you on this. So here's the deal. When you're in VS Code, there's a similar feature in Visual Studio as well. See up here, there's a plus. There's also a split editor. But when you open the Copilot panel over here, there's a list of sessions. So I can go back to other sessions that I was previously working on in Visual Studio Code. So I can jump right back to this session we did the other day about extracting a location from a sentence. Maybe this is something that we have Copilot SDK do now because we have that free and easy model that we can hit. Maybe. So we have that capability in this panel, and I can work with the agent and see my sessions. You can even kick off sessions here and watch them run in this list and pivot and come back to them. That's all something you can do. At the command line, there is a resume capability here. So there you go. Look at that. Resume any session with Copilot -- resume. So if I do say just Copilot resume, because I don't remember which one I was working on, it's going to take a look and come back and say, well, here's some of the things that you were recently working on. Which one is it? And let you choose and jump right back into that. And it shows you how long ago it was. So a lot of flexibility in that. This is using the latest pre-release version of Copilot. Okay. So let me clear and jump right back into that again. There we go. This is 00395. Okay. I've installed this with NPM so that it's easy for me to update using NPM commands, and I've got the same command to install and manage this on Windows, Mac, or Linux. So I have this running on my Linux machine as well. So thanks so much for the question. Really appreciate it. And I'm going to cut that into a little YouTube video later. Let me jump back into, where was it? If we go back over here, right, Copilot CLI. There is enterprise features where you can turn on and off and limit how folks interact with it. That is a little annoying if you ask me, but I get why people are enabling, disabling parts of it. Install GitHub Copilot CLI, right? npm install -g GitHub Copilot. There's a pre-release version that's available as well. I mentioned that earlier. So you can run it on winget, brew, right? There's a pre-release flag. So I've installed this one. It's very stable. I haven't seen any issues with it misbehaving in any way. There's an install script. You can also have it download and use on your Nix compatible operating systems. So let's go to town. Let's kick this thing off and see what it can do for us. Right? I've gotten some help. Tuning and hang on. Let's run that in YOLO mode. So it just runs. Because I'm gonna have this thing run and then kick some stuff off and go back over and talk about CodeMedic and some other things. You've got requests left at the end of the month? You're not doing that right. So I have GitHub and Playwright available. So, yeah, here we go. I've been planning some fixes and updates to the map location features in this app with docs written in the, was it map clustering feature? Map feature enhancements. I think it was that one. Right? Yeah, map feature enhancements. That's where I'm working. So, public static map viewer. I don't want it to build that just yet. Sure. And feature 3 is gone. But feature 4 is heat map. No, we're not going to do that. Tor algorithm. There's feature 3. Fix the feature numbers in this document. It kind of bounces around. Over to GPT-5 Mini or the Grok one. Sure. Sure. But I'm going to tell it to kick off and implement some of these and delegate. Go do it. Right? Like, there's steps in here. Like, I don't know. Can you do /YOLO in an already started session? No. No, that's not a thing. Now that you're out of premium, a dev has to do what a dev has to do. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Run YOLO object detection. No. 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 And it also doesn't have any kind of indicator that you're in YOLO mode. It just kind of runs and is like, oh, yeah, here. I'm doing my thing. Is there auto? No, there's no auto mode here either. I am going to have it run with Claude Opus, though. And I'm going to kick off telling it to go do this. Fix the feature numbering to be sequencing. Thank you. Thank you. I'd really appreciate that. Look, feature 2, right? Like, what? Public static map? No. AI feature location resolution fallback? Yes. Do that one. Now it's feature 5. I want the numbers for these features to be in incrementing ordinal order from top to bottom. Period. That way a human can read this document and understand what you're describing. You were thinking about Gemini or some other thing where you could do that? Yes, right? Hey, you got your prescription. You need to get your IPD measured. So when you got your prescription, they should have measured your IPD as well. Your interpupillary difference. Distance, the distance between your pupils. They should have measured that at the same time. Top to bottom, 1 to 10. Are they? Feature 1. Feature 2. There we go. Yeah, okay. Location heat map. No. Tor algorithm geographic intelligence. Yeah. All right. So now let's go back over to the CLI. Watch this. I'm going to hit Shift Tab to put it into plan mode. I want to review and implement some of the features in the map enhancements document. Let's actually grab that document. And that, oh shoot, I'm in the wrong folder. Hang on. Do that again. Yeah, okay. So, right, Shift Tab. I want to implement some of the features in the map feature enhancements doc. Let's review the features in that document and decide which features you can delegate to agents. Yeah, let's go. Hey, Chris Funk. How you doing there? There we go. So it's going to analyze, come back, and then we're going to try and delegate. You look a lot like Ice Planet Hoth right now, and you're out of Winter Storm snacks. I just placed an order with the grocery store, and they're going to be delivering tomorrow a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I'm the same way. All right, here we go. Good candidates for agent delegation. Parallelizable. Parallel. Self-contained. Feature 9, map legend component. Yeah, that's pretty easy to do. Location heat map visualization. Better for us to work on together. Tor algorithm geographic intelligence. AI-powered location resolution fallback. Requires external setup. Yeah. I want to do feature 2. And the legend. So let's do both. Let's do the legend and the AI geographic enhancement. Huh? Found leaflet, found the historic map. So, these are two agents running at the same time. You see how that's going? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Like, now I'm a little bit more of a project manager. I've assigned it. Here are the features I want you to build. So while that's going, let me come back over to the document. Right? So it was feature 2 up here. Right? So use the GitHub Copilot SDK to identify locations in chat messages when the primary location resolution methods failed. So if it looks at a string and it doesn't see a location, go bounce it off of GPT. And we'll try to find those. I'm not doing the heat map. We should probably do this one next. But all the way down here, we went to feature 9. Add an interactive legend in the bottom left corner of the map that explains the different pin types. So it can definitely do those two things at the same time. So up here has a clear picture of the current state, right? So this might get confused because it's actually looking at things in two different folders. It might get confused. We might have to stop it and get it rerunning. And this is all in plan mode, right? It's looking for and trying to figure out exactly what it's going to do. It's not actually doing anything yet. So here we go. Once you reach a quota with a regular model in Copilot, you're getting the same quota reach messages for the mini model. Are you? Even with a 0x? I don't think you should. There it goes. Look, it went and found. There it is. It went and found the other project because it went into the solution. Good. Let me take that as a note to follow up on. I will get to the bottom of that one and make sure I understand that a little more and see what we can do to fix. Now it has a comprehensive understanding of the code base. Let's create the implementation plan. And when it finishes this, I'm going to be able to say start, and it'll go build the stuff. But fully delegatable to agents for the map legend, the AI geographic enhancement. Some delegatable, some manual. Use the existing Azure OpenAI infrastructure. No. So what do we got here? Delegate map legend to agent, build AI label generator core, integrate into the Tor system. Now I should be getting that text reading. Yeah. So there's delegate here. So delegate changes to the remote repository, or yes, delegate the map legend. So hang on, let's. Right. Can I just, there we go. So if I say delegate, implement the map legend feature. Sure, go ahead, commit that. Yep, go ahead. So created commit, created branch, summarizing conversation context, and then it's going to kick that off. That's pretty cool. I was hoping it would come back right away so that I could say, okay, let's go build the label generator. Now, I should be able to... yeah, we need to get back to that later. I should be able to see what it's working on. Here we go. Waiting for it to start processing. So do I have to sit here? I shouldn't have to sit here, right? So Control N to start a new session. There it goes. All right, so start a new session, right? And if I shift tab, implement the AI label generation in feature 2 of I don't think I can get back to this one. Like in queue, how do I look back at my queue? I haven't done that yet. All right. So I'm going to let that run. Checking in on LinkedIn. Cool. That's all fine and dandy. All right, so while this is running and doing, right, so I've got that running and I've got the recent aardvark is what it named the branch. So there's the implementation plan for adding a map legend here, right? Because down here in the corner, we could just place a simple legend. So and it's doing its thing. Sure. You can run the stuff. So right now I can kind of step away, let it do its thing, and then come back and review and implement as needed. So I've started becoming a lot more task list focused. Then it becomes not just easy for me to go through and see here are the things I have to do, but I can now start delegating these things to Copilot and various other tools and let them go get done somewhere else. Like, yeah, good, go do it. Go do the thing. And while that's going, right, we can actually drop in here if we wanted and write some of the more interesting bits ourselves. Yeah, look, there goes modifying code. So, creating AI location models. I'm not sure I'm too thrilled with. So we'll see what it generates, and we'll look at the pull request and review those features. So what I'm also going to do is I want to take a look at the tour and tell it how the tour isn't behaving right. And see what we can do to get that fixed. Right? So there it is. Right? Asking about sessions. There's that session running. You're done with OData? Yeah, OData. A lot of folks have moved away from OData. Not going to lie. That's totally a thing. Let's just start up at the top level here. The map tour is not behaving entirely properly, period. When it navigates and presents content for the different locations, it is sometimes interrupted with new locations to be added to the tour, and those new locations should go into a queue that is not emptied until the tour has completed. When the queue is reviewed and presented, we should navigate to each new location in order, showing the modal pop-up announcing the new location and queuing up any additional locations that are added while we're navigating to those new locations. And I put that in plan mode. I'm going to use Opus to take a look, and let's see how we do here. Isn't all tech a product of its time? Yes, it is. And right, that's the thing, is we grow and learn from older tech to improve and make newer tech. So OData was used a lot long time ago. It's not used as much now. And at the time, everybody was high on XML and having a complete queryable data store using OData. Not just a database, but a data store. folks figured out how to break that and abuse that, so it fell out of favor. But now it's right back in favor with GraphQL. It's the exact same concept. Oh no, it's different. It's better. It's the same concept. So people are trying to do it again. I don't want to need to learn how to program and write and work with a database. I want to be able to query using REST. Give me a break. Aren't all tools abusable? Totally. Wait, some of the razor views that people used in MVC are nuts. The things that they've done inside them. I heard a ding dong. Let's see, what do we got over here? So, modified files, the nominatum geocoder that actually goes out and makes the AI request. Created AI location response, AI location resolver that hits the Azure OpenAI service, extract locations from natural language. Redis caching with 7-day expiration. Okay. Structured JSON prompt, telemetry tracking, configurable timeout temperature, and confidence threshold. So it updated a couple files here, and it looks like it's still working. This is going to town, still planning and figuring out exactly what to work on. But here's my changes. AI location resolver. Prompt template. Extract the geographic location from the following chat message. Return only a JSON object with city, state, country, and confidence fields. If no clear location is mentioned, return null values with confidence 0. And look at that. Extract location async. There's a configuration enabled state. It's in app settings JSON. Yeah, look at that. Okay. The response. And some tests to work with it. Cool. All right. So I can go back over here. Go test that, John. While that's going, I'm going to hop back in here, see what... That one's not doing anything right now. So we might actually be ready to go to push this one. All the tests succeeded. So why do we need Redis cache? It's saving off location information so that it's out there and easy to access and loads very quickly. So that's still going to take a look at fixing the tour, but I'm going to take these things. I might have some very good news that just came in from Mrs. C# Fritz. Waiting. Come on. I'm going to queue up these changes. So, all right, I have that saved. Yeah, no, open. So, if the point is not valid and we have an AI location resolver, it's going to try the AI location fallback, and here's the AI location fallback. Cool. That works. Okay. That's fine. Go ahead and push those changes out. And I'll go back to this one. Here we go. The current map tour processes new locations immediately by adding them to the active queue, causing the tour to extend indefinitely. This fix separates incoming locations into a pending queue during an active tour, then processes that pending queue as a new tour batch once the current tour finishes. So we're going to add a second queue pending location alongside the existing location queue that holds locations that arrive during an active tour. On new location, it's going to check is processing, route new locations to pending locations when it's active, otherwise to the main location queue. Why not just use one queue and not continue processing that queue? Update process location queue method to process only the location queue contents. Then at the end, check if pending location queue has items. If so, swap them and restart the tour loop. Update the queue status overlay to show both queues. Add a batch start flag to prevent race conditions. Should pending locations show a notable announcement when first received? No. One. I want a silent queue with a full announcement during their tour. No cap. Just load them all up. Should there be a minimum delay between tours? Yeah. Let's say 4 seconds between. Load those up, and here we go. Do more about that. So, yeah, the Redis cache, I have stored locations of every country, just like a basic location of every country in the world. Every country's capital in the world. And some very large cities in North America, because that's where I am, and I'm assuming I'll have a lot of viewers from North America. Large cities in Europe. Europe happens to be our second most watched region during live streams. And then larger cities from around the world. And I have all of those cached so that I don't need to go and hit the geocoder to go find the location of those. So ice cream stick model, it makes it almost an immediate response when we look for one of those locations. Additionally, when you share a location, I don't have it in the cache, I geocode it and save that into the Redis cache, and I never purge it. So when you come back and ask for that location again, like Timbuktu or Marianas Trench, I've already got that location saved. Don't need to hit the geocoder, and we can respond with it immediately. That also means that, like, when we have folks say, hey, I'm watching from London. Oh, I'm watching from London also. Hey, me too, I'm in London. It doesn't look up London those additional times. It just puts a 3 next to the flag for London. So it gives us that high-speed result locally before it needs to go and look up other stuff. So, yeah, what do we got here? So I gave it these things. Further considerations: a visual indicator during cooldown. No need for a visual indicator. No, I start the implementation. Go. Yes. Do it. Make it happen. Hey, Grego Waffles. Good to see you. The 00395 version of the CLI just have 3 models available in the free tier. Haiku, GPT-5 Mini, and GPT-4.1. Makes sense. I get it. It'll be great to have an option to connect local Ollama instances. Yes. You're right. And you're totally right about, because I'm on the Microsoft subscription, I don't have to think about cost. You're totally right. You can bring your own model here on VS Code, right? I can add an Ollama model here in VS Code. Where'd it go? It should have just done that. Yeah, that popped up. But if I choose Ollama, why aren't you doing anything? I wonder if it's not doing anything because I'm running. But you can bring, yeah, I bet it's because I'm running. Sure, you can do that. Go ahead. Yeah, sign in as me. No. Yeah, I'm gonna guess that it's hanging here because it's working. Are you kidding? You're already done? And it says it all tested properly, and it says it hot reloaded successfully. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, I need to reload. Okay. So 41 locations. Let's run the tour. Yeah, see, that... I think the next thing to do is push back on it, calculating the name and the group that it's showing. See, Mariana Trench. Right? Not bad. I want to see what it does when it goes to Spain. If it just says Spain. Right? Yeah, see, the Eastern North America, but you're seeing all the states. Like, that's a thing. Central Europe, but it's showing Finland. Like, this is where I want to dial in that feature of, here's the list of locations. Give me a regional name for this. Maybe I can bounce that off of OpenAI and it would be faster. Maybe. So. Right? Western Europe, and it's literally like Spain and Portugal. Boom! Okay. The tour worked. I'm going to commit those changes. Yeah. What exactly did you change? Pending location count. Some CSS. Can we push the CSS out? Hang on. This is... Right. Charlie Web components. Pages. This one. Yeah, I want a CSS file to go with you. Right. Overlap? No. Overlay map, direct, razor, CSS. And I just want to move all that style nonsense. Right. Do. Into... Much better. And the map reloaded. No, it didn't. Yeah, disable cache. No. I know I'm hitting... I think I'm hitting cache somewhere. No, don't show me the JavaScript. I want to see CSS. It's... Can I tell it? Yeah, edit and resend. What? Yeah. What the hell is this thing? No, go. I don't know what this is. Go away. What are you doing? Okay, good. It isn't formatting and taking my CSS here. Like, Hey, Shahab. How you doing there? Hello. I might need to put that directly on the map, but how about these other containers and things? Like, those are working, but I might be forced... That one I think is probably fine, but this one I might be forced to keep on the page. You know? No. That's right. You were right. Go reload that. File updated. That's better. That kind of makes sense. Okay. Maybe you're not giving GitHub Copilot good enough prompts. You feel like you have to do a lot of refining that takes a decent amount of time. The instructions files are so important. So important. I think... Yeah, I think that's fine. Let's go see how our map legend is going here. Finished. What do we got? Shows these, cluster explanations, interactivity, configuration, and responsive. Yeah? Map legend, position, background opacity, collapse by default. Nice. Yep, go ahead, run that. We'll take a look. GTR Shack says, it's great to see usage of dictation and voice to text features of Windows. It was completely different accuracy 3 years ago. Yes. There are a couple other tools that use the Whisper model that are a little bit better with transcription. My colleague Scott Hanselman is a big fan of a tool called Handy. But I've been using the Windows one and it works great. Yeah, the other project doesn't exist. Yeah. It's not in this. So, ready for review. Go ahead and merge. Delete that branch. Now I'm gonna pull here. There it is, map legend. And it's rebuilding. What do we got here? Right? Come on now. 35 warnings, 1 error. Really? Map, legend, racer. What do we got? Collapse by default, false. Background opacity, that's fine. Position is already bottom left. Yeah, I don't need anything else in here. So, I've got an error building. Keyboard event args. That's in map, legend, razor. Close everything else. Let's look at this. And this is on line 134. It's complaining. I'm just gonna disable that for right now. We'll figure out and fix that in a minute, but I want to get this thing working, you know? Show me the thing. It's rebuilding, and look at that. I don't want to scroll it, but that's not bad. What do you think, chat? That's not bad. It shouldn't be regular chatter. It should be Twitch chatter. I think we can fix that. Right, we can change that to Twitch. There it is. Not bad. I'd rather not click cluster to zoom and expand. Yes. Yes. I'd rather not scroll it. And I don't need... Cool. So what did we change? That and big deal on that. Roll that back. That's fine like that, but this one, yeah. Cool. Done. Right? Got a bunch of features all done at the same time. Yeah, go ahead, refresh. So, this is going to be important when I go and set up a static version of this that you can browse to and watch it kind of grow and blossom as folks are here commenting, interacting on stream. Let's go to that next feature about getting a better name for these locations. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to start a new session here. That was only 3 requests. I know I say only, but it's like... No, I wanted YOLO mode. Stop. There we go. It's only as good as the GeoIP database I'm using. I don't need it to be great, though. You're right, Arixa. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. You're right. It doesn't need... It's only going to be as good, and it's actually... I'm not using GeoIP. I'm just looking up the locations that folks share. So... Right. Here, I'll do mine real quick here, right? I'm watching from Philadelphia, right? So it identifies the text Philadelphia and places that pin for my location. And it only places locations, right, for folks that that share as accurate or inaccurate as they would like to. So we always have some folks that like to have some fun and share that they're watching from Mariana Trench, right? Or here, somebody's watching from chat. Like, okay. So, yeah, it's, to exactly your point, it's only going to be as accurate as the data that's provided to it, and I'm purposely not being 100% accurate or insisting on a level of accuracy. You know what I mean? So, but I do want to do is when I'm zoomed in on an area like this, a bunch of our Spaniard and Portuguese friends that are watching today, I don't want it to say Western Europe or Southern Europe. Like, we've got a clear definition of here's a bunch of locations. Let's actually use those locations to generate a name for this region. Right? So let's actually grab a screenshot and kind of nudge. Right? Let's nudge Copilot on this one. Yeah, I'll do it over here in VS Code. Yeah, put it on the side so we can watch some of these other things going. When the tour runs, I have some problems with how we're using the algorithm to group together a collection of pins. Period. For example, in this screenshot, we clearly have a group of viewers that are all in Spain and Portugal. Period. I would like to consider all of these folks as one group, and I would like to generate a name that's more specific for this region where our viewers are located. Period. Let's use our same AI resource to pass in the locations of each of these pins as a group and ask it to give a name for this region that's being displayed on the map. Yes. I would like it to say Iberia, or have it say Spain and Portugal. Let's get something that's more than just Southwestern Europe, you know? We can figure out where Eastern Europe ends and Western starts. Where is that? Right? That's in the States. There's this idea of the Midwest, but it's the center of the country. It's not the West Coast. But it's the Midwest. Like, what is that? This is going to go fantastic until slang gets brought into the picture. Help me out, Arixa. Help me out, because I think this is actually smarter than you might suspect. Philadelphia, where I live, is, right, it's sometimes abbreviated to just Philly, right, like my hat. It's able to recognize, the geocoder service is able to recognize and discern that location. So, right, let this thing run and do its thing over here. So depends on who you'll be asking. You're not wrong. Yeah, you're right. But as a gadget that we've been improving.
Smart speakers answer questions about the weather.
Do they?
I answer questions about the storm clouds gathering over your technical architecture.
Wow. Charlie. So there we go. Alexandria, Minnesota. Hello, hello. Did it show the location pop up? I wasn't paying attention. Just wonder if it'll understand nuanced locations. The bigger challenge that we've run into immediately is folks that are from a location that has a similar name in other places in parts of the world. We just saw, I forget who it was, that mentioned Pueblo, Colorado. And they said, hey, I'm watching from Pueblo. Well, instead of it going to this location in Colorado, it went to Pueblo, Mexico, which is, I'm looking for it on the map. I don't think I see it on the map. No, I'm not zoomed in enough. That's okay. So, right, that I think is our initial concern we have to work through. Some of the slang and referenced names for these locations we're working through. And those other services that we're dependent on are able to help us with that. So, like, I can see, to your point, folks referring to New York City as Gotham, right? Yeah, I get that. Totally get that. Right? So, or, right, Boston is sometimes called Beantown. Yeah, I can see it not understanding that name. Tor grouping service that handles clustering and AI-based region naming. Hey! It's going to create a new service for generating region names using AI. Modify the Tor logic to group nearby pins and use AI to generate a region name. Add a clustering algorithm to group pins that are geographically close. Okay. So let's see what we got. I could have a bot webhook fire and have the bot request a more detailed location or clarification for any spot that exists in 2+ locations. Sure. I think there might also be I think there's also not just a follow-up question, but once we do have that identified, save that, remember that preference later so that when the same person comes back and says, hey, I'm watching from Springfield. Well, there's many Springfields in the United States. Last time that Fritz said he was watching from Springfield, it was Springfield, Missouri. So I'll default to that one that he referenced last time, right? So I think it's a good idea to ask a follow-up question when there's multiple locations, and there's that nudge we can put in of, hey, remember this person's version of that location, right? Like, there's also a Philadelphia, Mississippi, but right now, if you say, hey, I'm watching from Philadelphia, it's going to go to my town in the city that I live near on the East Coast of the United States. Uh-oh. You're rebuilding and breaking things here, Charlie. Not Charlie, Copilot. ETH broke. Go rebuild. Retain the knowledge on future on update calls. Yeah. Then you can be less specific further down the line. And viewers can be less specific because they're a regular at that point, right? And then some of the folks that do watch my stream regularly and like to chime in and use the map, right? Some of them, perhaps they can turn on a feature that says, hey, when I first start chatting, you can go place a pin for my normal location. You don't need to build there, friend. I'm already built and running in the background. So refresh. No, doesn't work. Ollama API client. You're not supposed to be... Where did you think you got Ollama? to stop. There's no stop button. The stop button went away. It should already know that you're in the Mariana Trench and Timbuktu. It'd be neat to gamify this. Oh, tell me more. More often you come, the cooler your icon location tag is. Oh, Arixa. We've had a suggestion that perhaps the more often you come, or maybe if you use a certain number of channel points, or you cheer a certain amount, or if you're a subscriber for a certain amount of time, you can choose a custom pin for your location. So I think you're right, and I think there's options there. This isn't working. Like, right. This isn't working. I'm getting errors that the map page is looking for Olama when we already have Azure OpenAI configured and running. Go fix that. I didn't. So here's a scenario where I didn't give it enough context. Right? So it just figured, oh, I'm going to go use Olama. No, don't use Olama. I don't want Olama for this. Don't get me wrong. I have the power to the horsepower here that I could run Olama, but I have an Azure OpenAI instance out there that isn't taking a lot of heat right now. It's listening to our past conversations regarding Olama. Yeah. Right. Like, you don't have to. You can just use. Oh, you twit. So I'm using a service, an API called Microsoft Extensions AI that allows us to generically reference an AI chat client. We have this abstraction on top of all the various chat clients. And my code then can just say, give me a chat client. And we get that injected appropriately for whatever service is registered. Copilot doesn't know how to do that. Oh my gosh, Samuel, you're very welcome. You recently started learning coding and streams are helping a lot. You're very welcome, Samuel. And as you've seen, all questions are welcome, and particularly to help with the chatbot and to get your question on screen. If you ask a question and you either include my screen name at C#Fritz, or you end your question with a question mark, it goes into the queue, right? I have a queue sitting down here. I can show you the queue. Here it is, right? And these don't go anywhere. I have to purposely come through and say ignore, delete that, and I can then make sure that I get to it, click those, and put them up on screen for us to discuss. When I do put a question up on screen, remember, it also drops a link to that section of the YouTube video in our Discord. So if you ask a question, I go through and answer it, and you want to reference it later, or you want to grab that so that you can use it later, or go look more at the code sample that I write or share, it's linked and available, always available in the Discord. What do we got here? Remove chat wrapper dependency, configuration, blah, 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 blah. Redis caching. Instead of using an MD5 hash of locations. And we're back. Okay, it's running. So now let's do the tour and see what it comes up with. Central North America, 4 viewers. See, once again, you're clustering. Your clustering leaves something to... See, that's... No. Your naming here is garbage. See, Central North America... No. Can somebody share a link to the Discord? It's on my... It's on my Twitch wall. Here we go. I'll share that in chat. Western Europe, that's not bad. Like, that actually is correct. Sao Paulo. Okay, good. And then it goes back. And don't call that Western Europe, man. Will it understand Puget Sound or east side of Seattle? Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it didn't actually calculate the names. Let's go back and see what it wrote here. 4 files changed. You over here. What? That's for a test. Go away. Move you over here also. We'll look at you in a second. Okay, so it's injecting the Tor grouping service. Yeah, I wanted to recalculate the regions and locations. Maybe worthwhile to define a regional area bounded by a set of coordinates. I'm not sold on that because that's what I had before. They had to change Claudebot's name due to a cease and desist from Anthropic. Not surprised. Did not see that, but not surprised. Let's see, what else? Tor groups remaining. Okay. Tor grouping service, group locations for Tor async. What? Group locations. Cluster locations by distance. Start a node group with this location. Find all nearby unprocessed locations. Now, how's it... No, this... This is kind of brute forcing it. Calculate region name. Using a cached region name. No. You should be using the iChat client that's injected, not this. Yeah, I should be able to... Here, I should be able to receive... iChat client. Yeah, chat client. Oh, you're not gonna... I tell you. Fine. Private, read-only, iChat, client, chat client. You're telling me there's already one here? Oh, it should be underscore. Thank you. And even then, I should... No. Down here. This. Even that. Yep. This can go away. What do we got? Oh, we got some errors building. Ooh. Yeah. Let's run a keep on these. And we're gonna need to reload so that it gets the stuff. It's now Moltbot. Oh, that's whatever. That's right, Charlie. There you go. Come on. Yeah, that's it. Now it sees it. Um, 237 and 235. I don't have chat options. And this changed. Yeah, get response async. I think it's just prompt, right? Yeah. It's just prompt. That's all I need, dude. So the response messages 0. There we go. There we go. Want to get it to use... Have a good one, GTR Shack. Great to have you. Zarzak? Hello, welcome. Over there on YouTube. How is it still remembering these? Discord, got that one. Claudebot, yeah, okay. I want to flush the names and the groups that are currently defined in the tour. Period. The app is currently running in .NET Watch mode. So let's recalculate the groups. Or give me a button on the dashboard that allows me to flush the current grouping in the tour. The tour looks like it's showing the same groups again and again with the same names, and it isn't recalculating. Period. What is going on? Is it not recalculating tour groups each time? Help me out here. Give me some insight. What's it doing? I thought it recalculated them each time, but it doesn't feel like it. The service caches region names based on an MD5 hash of the location descriptions. Not actual locations. Okay. The cluster locations by distance. Yeah. Add a method to clear the cache. Add a force refresh parameter. Same region names for different groupings. I'm seeing the same region names again and again. And I'm also seeing similar groupings of locations repeated and overlapping tour stops. Period. Let's fix the tour group caching so that it does cache the actual locations. And let's also fix the grouping so that groups of locations, regardless where they appear in the list, get grouped together so that we have less overlap in tour groups. I ran that in ask mode. I think we've got something here, though. Look at that. Our follower count on Twitch is 24,401. Thank you so much. It's always great to see us cross a round number in the number of followers. Different groupings of different descriptions. So, yeah. Sorry, actually apply that now that I have you set to agent mode. All right, let that run. So that should hopefully fix our tour grouping and calculation. Assuming that works, I think the next thing that we want to talk about then is this idea, this concept of a static map, which I think we push out as an Azure static website with a cache sitting in a database file somewhere, in a database row. Like, I could put something in Azure table storage or in Redis that is just, here's the JSON of the locations to paint on the map. And the map just downloads and presents that JSON. So it becomes very simple. It's an Azure static website. It presents JSON from an endpoint that queries some Azure storage somewhere, and that Azure storage is updated when new locations are placed on my local instance of the map. What are you doing here? Proper hierarchical clustering algorithm. Ooh. Yeah. So it's calculating differences between all the locations and creating groups at that point. You're in upstate New York? Upstate New York. They put a pin near Syracuse. How's that? Sorry, we didn't see the animation, but I was on another screen when that came in. But that's not bad, right? Right. And there we go. Pusto showing up. Right. The locations aren't supposed to, they're intentionally somewhat inaccurate, right? Nobody's going on a real tour or tracking people down. This is strictly for fun. So close enough is good enough. Let's see how the tour runs. It still did Central North America first. I think I need to force a rebuild on this because these location names are awful. Mariana Trench, that's right. Pusto with the resub. Where's Stream Elements, man? Yeah. Thank you so much, Pusto. That's right. Intentionally inaccurate was your nickname after college? See that? Yeah, these clusters. This is awful. Try this again. Refresh. Let's even... I'm not just going to hot reload. Let's reload this thing. Thank you so much, friend. I appreciate you with the resub. It means a lot. Thank you. So, I'm going to wrap up here in just... I think I need to double check something. Double check. I'm nearly... My schedule's changed a little bit. So, just need to double check a couple things. Because I didn't do it before I started stream. So, where'd the map go? It's asking for Olama API client again. You son of a gun. Where is it asking for this? Aspire Olama Sharp extensions. That's okay. I'm just checking. Yeah, what is... No. All right, I got to figure that out. What the heck are you doing, man? No. Yeah, I'm good. Okay. Yes. All right. Is the Discord... I already answered the Discord questions. Yeah, you're welcome, Samuel. Thanks so much for tuning in. It's trying to get... Why is it trying to get... Like, where is it calling... Here. I'm not using that. Right? Ooh. Yeah, I'm not using Olama. It recognized I needed to restart. That's something. Hot reload succeeded. Yeah, yeah. Fine. Rebuild, you turkey. Let's go. Building, building, building. Well, I'm going to get through this so we can get back into doing something cool again. App host, dashboard. Yes. Reload the things. Well, that's not good. Let's look at the dashboard, see what crashed. Yeah. Some services are not able to be constructed. Services chat wrapper lifetime. Chat wrapper. Unable to reserve extensions AI iChat client. Uh-oh. Hang on. It's right there. But I have it loading Azure OpenAI. Like, where'd the hat feature go? I just saw it. No. What the heck? Voice recognition, text to speech. Where the heck did this go? Yeah, hat knowledge service. Hat analysis feature. It's right there. Oh, I'm not creating it. Oh, crap. Do this. And update program. Yeah. So that these configuration items for Azure OpenAI are configured in Program CS and made available as an iChat client with Microsoft extensions. Wait, I could do this myself. And then update the hat analysis feature. Anala. I forgot the Y. To use iChat client. Go. And don't do anything stupid. That way, then I'm not passing around Olama. I'm not registering Olama. That stuff falls by the wayside, and it was trying to set up Olama because a previous version of the tool that Copilot was setting up, it decided to go use Olama instead of this Azure OpenAI stuff. Hey, little Andy. Hello. This is going to take a minute, and then Charlie will be back up and running again. And then we'll be able to do the maps and all the gizmos and things. And then we might be able to get into the Azure Static website real quick. We should be able to. What are we building? So I have a little bit of an advanced chatbot that lives in this chat. And we're tweaking, we're updating him. Its name is Charlie. And Charlie particularly has a map feature where when it's running, and it's not right now, it places pins on a map when folks share their location, and they say, hey, I'm watching from good morning, good afternoon, from when they share their location in chat. So we're adding a little bit of AI detection into there, and there's some features around grouping locations to do a bit of a worldwide tour and pan around the map automatically. We're updating that so that it uses a better algorithm to do that navigation. You'll see in just a moment here. Yeah. That's right. So she needs updates. I get it. Charlie's actually an acronym. Right. Oops. Where'd it go? Charlie. Yeah. Charlie stands for C# Fritz's helpful AI for real-time live engagement, live interaction and engagement. So, Charlie. And Charlie does some voice, text-to-speech things that are sometimes a little bit more spicy than we'd like. So, here we go. Updating. Extensions AI, OpenAI package isn't installed. Sure. Token counts are now longs instead of ints. Whatever. So, I use Aspire to wrap and manage all of this, so I get logging and metrics automatically around all of these things. And I added some custom metrics around how Charlie reports its AI interactions. So, yep, go ahead, verify everything compiles. I should still be over here doing its thing. It's got an error. Yeah. Oh, we're at... Oh, gosh, I don't want to do a .NET 10 update. I should. I don't want to do one just yet. Good, use the preview version. You're editing files wrong. No. It's having a problem now with .NET 9 versus .NET 10. Yeah. So look at that. It just went and looked up. Interesting. Like, none of those are the ones we want. What do we got here? You were thinking of moving yours into Aspire as well? Then you started working on migrating the Twitch parts to WebSockets, and somewhere there you started with other stuff instead. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to do a little bit of multi-threading using delegated agents with Copilot. And what I'm finding is this one is tripping over itself. And I'm trying to get it going here so we can do multiple things at once, but it's... No! Would it just be easier to update the SDK? I think it would just be easier to just go 10 and just use the latest stuff. Go ahead and think and come back and tell me, because I think we can just flip it to 10 and it'll run. And then we're back on the straight and narrow working. There it is, updating all the project files, right? One less thing to worry about. I don't technically need to update the content, I don't think. Okay, here we go. Adding the package back. Failed to restore packages. What do we got? Okay, the tests. That's fine. It's the tests. There it is, restoring 3 errors. Always trying to prompt it and not specifying versions. Yep. Drop the .NET 9 feed then. Like, oh, Lord. I don't need that. Back over here. Hang on, just... I don't need these now. Rebuild now that I've cleared up the NuGet. So, you're right, the AI is keen on specifying old versions because it doesn't know the model. Like, the model doesn't know the newer versions. Well, that's not good. Let's see what we got. Should get us right back in. Oh, God. All right. We started updating this solution to .NET 10, and I'm getting a bunch of compile errors. Period. Investigate and fix. And fix. Like, that is a whole lot of red. Upgrading your applications with Visual Studio with .NET is something that we want to make extremely easy to do. Like, there's a tool, you just point it at your project and say, upgrade all the project and all the references to the current version, and update any coding styles so that it uses the correct new versions of things. It's the JSON serialize or deserialize. Yeah. And because we're passing in a Redis value, that has an implicit conversion between string and span of characters. Yep. Good. Apply the fix. Let's move on. I feel like everything from .NET Core 3.1 and up is fairly simple to upgrade. Yes. It should be. Just a couple of implicit weird things every now and again. So, come on. And I'm going to wrap up after this fix completes. What are you doing? It says it's running. There we go. Okay. Can we try and build? That was more than a file. That was a few. Still going. I'm going to rebuild anyway. 39 warnings now. 10 errors. Instead of 26. It's an improvement. So, we want the upgrades to be drop dead simple. And honestly, you should be able to do something as simple as .NET upgrade at the command line and prompt you, hey, I see updates on these things. Do you want me to update it? Yes. Boom, there it goes. Like Aspire does that for you. With the Aspire command line, you run Aspire upgrade and it will go and upgrade, update. And it will update itself, inspect your project, and prompt you, which version do you want me to update to? I can update to the current stable, the current pre-release, or a daily build, if you want to use that bleeding edge daily version of things. So, the code that it's updating here, come on, show me that. Right? Yeah, it's calling toString on these. So that we know we get a string coming through here. 7 errors now. So while that's working, this... Yeah, let's go up one and let's do an Aspire update. Because it's updating tests in the background. Let's do an Aspire update and update all the packages. While we're here, just why not? Yep, go to 13. Looks good to me. Do it. Fritz, Charlie, Apphost. And in the background over here, this Copilot's like, what happened? The implicit version on Aspire hosting Apphost. I did here. Come here. 1310. Rebuilding. Oh, Lord. How do I feel about the GitHub Copilot CLI? It's really good. It's really good. I'm having problems. Okay. Fine, I can do that for you, buddy. Yeah, we're slowing down. And lots more errors. Yeah, let's stop confusing this. So the Copilot CLI it's got some advantages over Claude. Because you can choose different models, right? Not just the Anthropic models, but the ChatGPT models, the Google model. There's other models that you're going to be able to get into here. So that's nice. It's also got tight integration with GitHub. So I can delegate items to GitHub, right? If I run the delegate command, it delegates that to your GitHub and opens a issue over there and assigns that to Copilot to run. So you aren't even running the AI tool on your machine. You just delegate it and send it off to somewhere else. So you're having a real problem here. Yeah. That looks like it restored properly. We're getting there. API changes in Aspire. I think... Yeah, there's that endpoint reference for health checks UI. Oh, that's going to break some stuff. You like token tracking in the GitHub CLI too, since it's request based? Yeah. Oh my gosh. We're back running again. There we go. That's better. And all my parameters are moved over here instead of being floating around on that one screen. I like that a lot better. But the website crashed. Why? Yeah, sure. It's about to kill you so it can rebuild. Yeah, here, I'll go back over here. No. What was it? I thought it was status. Usage. That's it. So, it only counts requests. The API time and the session time doesn't matter. Copilot runs on requests. So, you send in a really big request, you send in a really small request. Gets plotted and handled appropriately. Let's see if we get this running again. Excuse me. And I'm feeling better about this. There's the website. Come on. And if we go back over, is the map going to show up? I think we have it. Yeah, there's the map. All right. Let's see how the map works. Still Central North America. No. Keep all of that. Let's commit it. We're updated. Oh, Lord. What a pain. Okay. You go away. Same thing with you. Yeah, close everybody else. Sure. It's in the right, it was in the tour grouping service. I need to be able to flush the tour locations so that we can try recalculating the grouping. No. I want to flush the tour location groups so that we can recalculate the groups for the tour and forget the previous algorithms calculated groups. Yeah, I need to... Did I build my own integration with Twitch? Or did I go with any packages? Built my own integration. And I've kind of been reusing the same integration. I just have a class that I've been carrying around. But at this point, I would just point Claude, Gemini, or Copilot at the Twitch docs and say, go generate a class that manages this API for me. Here's what I want to do. And just use that API that it generates. Point it back at the docs when there's a change. Hey, update this class based on those things. Added a flush cache region names async. Great. Add a button to the map area of the dashboard. So that I can trigger this flush operation. That's why you're starting to migrate some of the packages that never got updated? Yes. The Right, there's a Twitch.net package that hasn't been updated in years. So, like, yeah, let's make that happen, right? So, edited the dashboard and added a button for me. Did you? Did you? Yep, flush tour groups. There it is. Oof. That button doesn't work. I get right, it's a null reference error. Is that what I'm seeing? I bet it's something isn't injected something. Scanning the database directly. Oh, okay. Nope, still not getting an object. Right, so here's the dashboard. Here's our flush tour stops. No. Let's even force a rebuild here. You moved from some packages to Sweden. Well, that's interesting. Coming back over here. Hey, there it goes. All right. So let's go back to the map. That's not the map. This one's the map. Go. Still Central North America. No. I don't just need the tour group names flushed, but I also want to clear out the groupings of the tour stops so that we can use the new algorithm. Period. I keep hitting the same locations every time I start the tour. Yes, go get rid of that stuff. Hey, Urban Blaster, how you doing there? Let's go! Now, this should do it. Come on. Computed dynamically from persisted locations. When the tour starts, it loads the persisted locations, but as new locations, they go into a pending queue. Yes. Clear the region name cache. Already done. Reset the tour state to force it to reload and regroup. Tour groups are computed fresh each time from these locations. You need to force the overlay map direct to reload and regroup. No! No, we don't need another service. Just add to the tour grouping service. right? That should do it. But it keeps coming with the same bad location names and bad groupings. Flush and restart. Okay. I worry. I worry about that. Yeah, go get rid of that other thing. Yes, go ahead and restart. Flush and restart tour. Okay. So there's that. And if I go to my dashboard, tour will restart with fresh groupings. Northeastern North America, 15 regions remaining. Okay. British Isles and Low Countries. Okay. Southwestern United States. Yes. Central Texas. Front Range. Southeastern United States. Finnish Lakeland. Hey, that's not bad. Pacific Northwest. Yes. Czech Republic. Okay. Chat. Yes. Billy Cool. Alexandria, Minnesota. Melbourne, Australia. Miami. And the Mariana Trench. Not bad. Oh, and Sao Paulo. Right? So that, hang on, that button there isn't the same. I think I found the issue. : the tour that you just updated and added is different from the quote start tour quote button that's at the bottom of the map component. Period. I prefer the labels and interactions of the map component, but I like the names and interaction grouping that you just delivered. So the map isn't doing the same tour as what this wrote. I think we figured this out. Get that deduped. It'll improve the, like, don't get me wrong. That could zoom in a little further. That's much more accurate in what it's presenting there. Right? I like that. Appalachian region. Hey, that works. Okay. And then Eastern Finland is what it gave that name this time. Pacific Northwest. Yeah, that works. Czech Republic. Chat. Alexandria, Minnesota. Melbourne. Yeah. Miami. The Mariana Trench. And Sao Paulo. See, that all worked great. Oh, okay, hang on. Decision time. Yeah. Has its own tour functionality built in. You want to integrate the tour grouping service grouping logic. Expose a callback event from ChatterMap Direct that asks for grouped tour data. Create a wrapper method that it can call to get grouped locations. I like the first one. I like the first option. And you can access the chatter map and chatter map direct razor what based on it will pick next location to show, random or some other logic? I've told it that I want it to bounce between continents so that we get that nice fly-in animation. Because if it were to stay on the same continent, we would have it just kind of pan around Europe and then go over to the United States and North America and pan around there, and then, right, it's not as dramatic an animation, right? This is part of the, I want the entertainment value of the drama of it panning away automatically to somewhere else, elsewhere in the world, and then come back. So it's going to add a callback parameter that allows external tour grouping. Yes. An event for tour restart requests. Yes. Keep the existing UI, but use AI-generated region names when the callback is provided. Brilliant! And we improved the algorithm there so that instead of it just looping through and saying, okay, I'm looking at this location, go find me everything close to it, it goes and does a comparison between all the regions, all the locations, and it finds the ones that have the closest location to each other, and that's what it uses as its grouping. Because it can, right, it can do that difference. There's, what, 46 locations today? So it can do that set of calculations of distance, because it has the latitude and longitude, extremely fast. So do those calculations, save those calculations, and then run the grouping. So it's updating the component so it can pass in external tour groups. Yeah. Yep. We've got this. Ugh. I'm almost out of time here. Good. We just spent all that time building that. No! No. You're removing other functionality. And doing more than I asked. Put back the queue management features. You know all that stuff we just did? Well, you didn't want that, right? So it's gone now. Yeah, just add the new method. You don't need to do these other things. So, I think it's official, and Mrs. C# Fritz just got a promotion today. I think. So we're waiting for the final confirmation. But sounds like she just got a significant promotion to director. So, or assistant director. Like, they want to put her in the director role, but there's some politics at play, and they're going to put her into an assistant role and eventually roll over. So, you're waiting to hear about some of the jobs? Nice. Promoted to Java? No. Not assistant to the director? No. That's what she was doing. Here's what you've implemented. Yeah, well, get that John working again, and let's prove this actually does what you think it says it does. Next time we're going to take a look at Neon Link and some of the cool features that I've been adding there, because I'm going to be running that live at Svetog next week in Sweden, in Stockholm. We're going to be up and running and showing and presenting using that. There we go. Northeastern United States and Southeastern Canada. I like that one. All right. 10 viewers in that region. Iberian Peninsula. We got that one good. Yes. Northwestern Europe. I like it. Southwestern United States. I am going to be there. Stockholm, Sweden. Eastern Finland. Yes. The Pacific Northwest. The Appalachian region. Okay. Central Texas. Okay, good. Front Range. Why Front Range? I'm not familiar with that term for Colorado. Chat India. And Melbourne, Australia. And Sao Paulo. And the Mariana Trench. I think that's it for the tour. Nope. We're going to end with Miami. Oh, Czech Republic. Okay. My bad. Is that the last one? Yeah, there we go. And there's everyone. Front Range of Colorado is part of Colorado east of the mountains. Ah, okay, thanks. Good to know, PC Nerd. We got it. I think we have it fixed. I think we have it all fixed. So I'm going to check in all of that and call it a day. Oops. Click too far. This, that. Come on. Yes. Push it. And I need to go over to the other project because it's actually 2 folders. Fritz, Charlie, components. Yep. Add all that. Commit. Added ability to inject Tor groups. Fantastic. Done. Is prompt injection a solved problem yet? No. Folks are still finding ways to get around prompts and inject and misbehave and do bad things. So, this hasn't updated. Stream elements. And restream chat. That's weird. What happened there? Where did that go? Bam, gone, empty. Way to go, Restream. Good job. You make us proud. Well, that's a stream. Seems like there were red squiggly lines in the map component file. It needs to be reloaded. It is compiling and running properly. So, but yeah, it looks like Restream is a little grouchy right now. That's a stream for now. I do need to call it there because I've got some other things to do. I've got some Microsoft things to get to. So and this isn't loading. Let me see who else is streaming on the big Twitch TV network I can get you connected to. Maybe they're doing something fun, something interesting, and show you what's going on out there. If you're watching on LinkedIn or you're watching on YouTube, I've got lots of great videos on YouTube that you can check out. youtube.com/C#Fritz. I'd appreciate if you gave me a like and a follow over there, or a subscription, and click the bell for notifications so that we can help grow the YouTube channel. You know what? I'm going to send us back over to our friend Bald Bearded Builder, who's working on the Microsoft Power Toys for Windows. And I had a great conversation with him yesterday about some of the great stuff the Windows team is working on. So, all right. Have a fantastic rest of your day, wherever you might be. I wish you good health and good coding. Take care.